Many people believe that only humans are capable of emotional and loving bonds, but that isn't quite the truth. Animals can have a number of emotions like sadness, embarrassment, and even love. From a lion that thinks a human is her dad to a little boy who is best friends with a duck, these are 10 most unusual human-animal bonds. Gamby Man. When Gamby Man was 4 years old, she brought a lot of attention to herself from the neighborhood crows. They began to follow her when they noticed she was dropping food on the ground and would wait for her when she would get out of cars. Gamby started noticing all the attention and over the span of 4 years started rewarding the attention with leaving food from her lunchbox for the birds. Now her and her mom have started a routine of feeding the neighborhood crows every morning, and the crows thank them by bringing gifts. The crows will eat all the food and leave a shiny present for the little girl. Her favorite gift is a half heart that says best on it, but she isn't sure if the crows have the other friend's half. Valentine Gruner. Surga the lion doesn't have a typical lion pack like other lions. When she was born, she, along with her siblings, were abandoned by the adult lions, and her other 2 siblings actually died. That's when conservationist Valentine Gruner stepped in. Gruner adopted Surga, and in 1 year she went from 4 pounds to 174 pounds. She is now getting ready to be released to the wild, and her surrogate father is teaching her how to hunt. She has only had contact with 2 humans in her whole life, and Valentine hopes she will adjust to the wild, but he will miss his cuddly lion daughter. Casey Anderson. After rescuing a grizzly bear cub from being euthanized, Casey Anderson didn't realize he was actually rescuing his future best friend. Casey started a sanctuary for grizzly bears in Montana and raised his new furry friend Brutus, and the 2 are inseparable. Casey is convinced that Brutus is an emotional animal and even tries to cheer Casey up when he is sad. Though he spends most of his time with humans, Brutus is great with other bears and even has a bear girlfriend. The duo is so close that Brutus was Casey's best man at his wedding. Melanie Tapaldos. The capybara is the largest rodent in the world, and one family in Texas has made this rodent their loving house pet. After visiting Venezuela, Melanie Tapaldos fell in love with the semi-aquatic rodent and just had to have one for herself. When she and her husband returned home from their vacation, they adopted a capybara named Gary from a man who could no longer care for the large rodent. Gary spends his time swimming in the pool the Tapaldos built for him with their daughter. He loves to chase rabbits for fun, and Melanie even lets Gary sleep in her bed. She claims he is like any other pet and learns tricks quicker than most dogs. Cheeto. In 1989, a man who the locals called Cheeto rescued a dying crocodile after it had been shot on the shore of the Parasmina River in Costa Rica. Cheeto wanted to show the crocodile that not all humans were bad, so he nursed the croc back to health and released him back into the wild. With one problem. The crocodile didn't want to leave Cheeto, so with the blessing of local officials, Cheeto kept his new friend Pocho as a pet. Over the span of 20 years, the pair would swim and play together every morning. Sadly, in 2011, Pocho, nearly 60 years old, died from natural causes, and Cheeto and his village had a grand funeral to say goodbye to Cheeto's best friend. Jane Goodall. Jane Goodall has spent her life rescuing chimpanzees and nursing them back to health. She has created special bonds with dozens of chimps that have spent time at her sanctuary in the Congo. One of the sweetest bonds was with a chimpanzee named Wunda, who Jane and her staff rescued after she was found nearly dead. It was their goal to eventually release Wunda back to the wild, and when the day came, Wunda did something that surprised them all. On the way to her new home, Wunda sought comfort from Jane's touch, and when she was released, she took a look around and gave Jane a sweet hug before she was on her way back to the wild. Tyler Young. When Tyler Young was 9 months old, his father, who was already an owner of 11 ducks, was purchasing food for his ducks when he noticed a young duckling for sale. Tyler's dad decided to get the young duck, and when he brought the duck home, the rest was history. The duck, Beaker, quickly became best friends with 9-month-old Tyler Young, and now the two are inseparable. When Tyler cries, Beaker quacks and runs towards him to comfort him. The pair enjoys wagon rides together, and Beaker even supervises bath time. Tyler loves Beaker so much that his first word was duck. R.C. Bridges. It's not uncommon for people to have large animals as pets like Great Danes or even python snakes. But when R.C. Bridges decided to let his 2 buffalo become indoor pets, well, it caught the attention of America. R.C. Bridges is a Texas man known as the Buffalo Whisperer who shares a home with his wife and 2 pet bison named Wild Thing and Bullet. R.C. lost his eye and had to give up his herd of buffalo, but decided to keep Wild Thing as a pet. Wild Thing was even best man when R.C. and his wife renewed their vows after 5 years of marriage. R.C.'s wife claims they love their pet dearly, and if either of them died, it would be the end of R.C. as well. Nancy Noss. When Nancy Noss of Fresno, California was only 5 years old, she bought herself a pet tortoise. Over 55 years later, Nancy and her pet tortoise, Touche, have been best friends. Nancy thought she might have lost her dear friend Touche when a gardener left a gate open that allowed the 100-year-old tortoise to break free. Apparently, Nancy was brought back to her childhood glee when she and Touche were reunited after a week apart. Touche was looking for a quick fling because she was caught in a compromising position with a dome-shaped water outlet cover. Ronald Giroux. When you think of fish, you don't usually get warm and fuzzy feelings inside. That isn't the case with Ronald Giroux and his pet blood parrot Cichlid. When the fish was in a tank with other fish, Giroux noticed his tank mates had been bullying him. Giroux then decided to let the fish have its own tank. Giroux started interacting more with the fish and even hand-fed it until it started to become more sociable. Giroux noticed the fish loved to be stroked and rubbed on the head. Now Giroux spends 15 minutes a day petting his fish and uploading videos of his loving pet to YouTube. What do you think of these unique human-animal bonds? Have you ever had a special relationship with an animal? Leave us a comment down below and let us know. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up before you go and subscribe to our awesome channel for more incredible videos daily. Thanks for watching.